What would I do if I could feel?
He's got a rocket. His arm is being pulled back by tiny cartoon animals as far back as possible and then flung forward.
You've always said that I throw like a woman, so that
You do throw like a woman.
Super Flag Bros.
You actually look like our mom throwing.
You realize she was
Man,
better than
why
both
you
of you,
gotta say
right?
that? By far.
It's not nice.
Super Flag Bros.
I would say by the two of us combined, but the two of us combined is actually worse than one of us by ourselves.
I hate you guys.
PB and Jelly have a couple of veterans on their team as well. We have Joseph Cano.
Welcome everyone you're listening to and perhaps watching Super Flag Bros, the official Division 6 podcast of Flag Plus Football in Division 6. I am your host, Pease Del Rees. I can be followed at Pease FPF. At P. And Deez Del Rees is my co-host. Where can you be followed?
At Dave's Republic.
And of course, our producer is Chavin at Master Control, and you can follow him, but you don't want to. You can also follow our technical director, the Eagle at Master Control. You can tweet the show live by tweeting him at EagleFPF. If you're wondering why I'm wearing a kimono and why there are boxes of chicken nuggets stacked in front of me,
Chicken nuggets. Can I see them?
they can see the chicken nuggets, right? They can see the chicken nuggets.
Confirmed.
If you're wondering why this is all happening, we have the Table of Terror. Each week we choose teams at random to represent us for the week. If they lose, we have to choose our own demise in a series of punishments. This week I have to wear a kimono, and our producer, Chapman, has to eat 50 nuggets during our show.
I just want to clear the air about this. First of all, they're not punishments
probably-
because you always wear kimonos and you always eat chicken nuggets.
Can I get
These are the easier ones. These are
Yes.
the easier ones.
Can I get my nuggets now?
You can start with your
Give
nuggets.
my nuggets.
Yeah, here you go.
So we are officially the most banned FPF podcast
Pretty much.
in all FPF
No, but you
history.
have copyright issues with our music.
Well, no, but listen, there were 6 countries that banned Super Flag Bros last week. Chapman, do you have a list of the countries? And I will tell off each of the countries individually.
USA,
USA, goddamn America used to be the home of freedom. What happened to you?
Russia,
Russia, you also used to be the home of freedom
Don't
once.
say anything.
I
They'll
think.
kill you. They'll kill you.
They'll probably kill me.
Turkmenistan,
Turkmenistan, it sounds like you're tasty and you make me fall asleep on the couch when you're done.
South Korea,
South Korea, be more like North Korea. Like, be more free. Like we weren't banned in North Korea or China.
Seriously.
So maybe you
What's
should
up with
take
that?
lessons on freedom from South Korea
I don't
and
think they
China.
have YouTube in North Korea at all.
Armenia,
Armenia?
They still have a country?
Yeah, it's a good country. It's a good place. I got nothing to say.
Okay, next.
and finally Thailand.
Thailand. I expected more from you.
They allow
Hon-
so many weird things in that country. They don't allow our podcast.
Seriously, like you can buy a 6-year-old boy.
How did you
But you
know?
can't-
How
you
did
can't
you
listen
know?
to our
With,
podcast.
how did you know what countries are banned?
YouTube told me.
Oh,
Tell me
there you go.
everything.
Yeah, there you go.
YouTube will tell you, and I will tell you that Sabre FC, the Buffalo Sabres,
Nice.
beat Team Laval 14-13. Team Laval has lost Sabre FC, tip-top shape, and Spartans, and have fallen to 4-3.
They've had such a rough schedule.
But they started 4-1. They lost the last 2. So, do you think that they're weaker than we thought earlier on in the season?
I don't think they're weaker. I just think it's a situation where they, and we've talked about this in previous weeks, where Samuel Simmers not really emerging as a great quarterback.
Despite his incredible start. Like, he started the first 2 games
yeah.
on fire.
And so he's been very mediocre as of late, and there's many reasons for this. And there's
Can
nothing
you
against
be
him.
very mediocre? Isn't
he's,
mediocre not very in its like origins?
He has this issue getting past 2 touchdowns a game at this point. Like
That's very mediocre.
that's very mediocre. And look, the next coming games, look, they have a chance to regain some momentum. The next week they're playing Trojans, then it's 420, then they're playing Smoke and Axles. So I think that those the next 3 games coming up are going to completely define them, obviously for obvious reasons because they're the last 3 games. But I think they're just trying to hit the weaker part of their schedule. What worries me is the fact that they put up stinkers against good competition.
Yeah. Team Laval stayed in this game, but they lost the game of converts. What would you suggest for new teams struggling the way they are?
With converts, converts are so difficult for a young team, right? Like because I think what people tend to forget is converts are especially difficult because it's such a small territory and the defenses are collapsing inwards. And usually in this division, a lot of teams are either playing man coverage or they're playing lanes. So essentially, you either have to if your issue right now is that you're not getting conversions, you have to look deep. You have to look deep at the end of the end zone. Look for some jump balls. I think that's your best option.
I would say, come see me on the sideline. I'll teach you break X. Max Marini was contained on the ground, and Sabre FC almost lost. Do they need him to be a dual threat to truly be competitive?
You know, I tend to agree with you with this one, only because when I look back at the beginning of this season, I saw, like
Box 2 of the Nuggets, by the way.
we
Going on.
we have a situation where we have a guy that has close to 500 yards and 5 touchdowns running. So I think that they need that. They need that to be part of what they are. You know, I mean, he had a game this season where he had 150 yards rushing.
And the lower division's known for having running quarterbacks and being an effective
But
strategy.
I think it's not just him. I think it's also a Mickey Marini too. Like Mickey Marini had a touchdown this game. That's great. But in general, like, look, it's been a couple of weeks since he's put up 100-yard games.
Absolutely.
So I think it's just a general offense. It just has to pick it up. But I still think they're a really good team, and I hate to play against them in the playoffs.
Marini, Mickey, not so fine. Did not blow my mind. So the Trojans took on Goon Squad in a game that also did not blow my mind. Went 19-19. You guys know I like offense, so seeing a game where each offense only scores 3 touchdowns, not particularly exciting. And both teams fall to 2-4-1. Simon Beliveau had 2 interceptions for the Trojans and led the team in this defensive struggle. Why was this not enough to push the Trojans to victory?
You know what? I think about what happened to us this weekend. Our game, okay?
Okay.
And
Sorry, Doug Moose?
just to cue in the listeners.
Give a bit of context.
Piece of myself. We play in Division 3. We play in a higher division, and we came off this weekend with a game where we were leading 24-0. We had, as a defense,
In the first half.
In the first half, the first half, we were 24-0, and in the game total, we had 5 interceptions, and we came really close to losing that game. We came about 1 or 2 plays from losing that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think sometimes the interceptions aren't really what it's about. I think it always comes down to the productivity on offense. Like, it's all about trying to create that momentum on offense. And, you know, interceptions only get you so far. You can intercept the ball, but at some point you have to convert that into touchdowns.
Massimo Cecchini also threw 3 interceptions on the other side of the ball. And he also intercepted a ball on defense and ran in 2 touchdowns, as well as throwing for 2 touchdowns. I'd
like to know why Trojans keep switching quarterback. Do we have any insight on that? Or?
I don't, but they did start Matthew Bondu last week, a former quarterback at TCO, and they did win last week. So is he the key to their success moving forward?
Yeah, at this point, because rotating quarterbacks like this is not going to help you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But who knows? It could be multiple reasons. The guy probably
my mistake, by the way. Massimo Cecchini intercepted 1 pass on offense, on defense.
On offense, impressive.
That would be great.
Oh, thanks, Chapman. Thanks
great.
for that. You just
I like
had
that
to
though.
come in for 5
That's my
seconds,
move. Is
yeah.
I correct a mistake I
Yeah.
made with another mistake and hope no one will notice. So
Another box, please.
Chapman is in the first segment and is now eating his 3rd box of nuggets. I think by breakdown, by the time of overreactions, he will have completed 30 nuggets. How's it going so far?
Not too bad.
Yeah, because they're
How's
nuggets.
how's your
You need
salt
100 of
intake?
them.
That's so good.
Really?
So high.
You're high on salt.
Yes.
Yes.
Much like our enemies in Turkmenistan. Enemies to this podcast.
So we were talking about Trojans and
No, we're going on actually to
okay.
Ravens and
but
TDs and beer.
we didn't mention how
We're not going on.
we
Let's
di-
stay with this
we-
game.
Yeah, we didn't mention how both these games are ties though. So I think we should kind of elaborate that we're talking about 2 games with 1 week that were
Well,
ties.
you see, because I didn't bring up the second game yet, so the home audience doesn't have the script.
But in
see these.
general,
Yes, in
2
general,
ties,
you
2
can
ties.
say it after I bring up the second
2
tie.
ties in 1 week is pretty awesome.
Yes, it's not opposite.
Dukes
it's actually
cannot be contained.
Cannot be contained.
Cannot be contained.
Do not contain me.
Like Nuggets.
How does that happen 2 ties in 1 week? It's happened quite a few times.
Speaking of the second tie that you don't know about yet, the Ravens tied the TDs and beer 26-26. Does Brad Evans' inability to crush Division 6 surprise you, to give in his level of experience and high level experience?
Yeah, it's funny how Brett Evans kind of came into this league. It's really been and in some ways an underrated player. You know, when we talk about top-rated quarterbacks in Division 6, we don't tend to bring up Brad Evans, but I think Brad Evans has brought a lot to this team. It's shocking to me that they tied Ravens. I mean, just a week ago we were counting them out of this. You know, and the Ravens are a team that at the bottom barrel of Conference A. They've only won 1 game, and to me, this is impressive nonetheless. It's impressive the fact that they were able to pull out a tie against an experienced team like TDs and Beer.
You know, but what is it like? Is it arm strength? Is it play calling?
I think it's play calling. I just think it's the amount of time that we have spent in
box 4.
it's the amount of time that we've spent in FPF, and I feel like with every season you play, like I feel like Brad Evans has seen a lot. He's seen a lot. He's done a lot in this league. and there's very little that's new to him. You know, so I just think it's all about play calling, but it's also about being able to read the routes, read defenses. It's an exceptional thing to have on your side.
I think it's specifically play calling, in my
Yeah.
opinion. He
But
doesn't
really defenses
he doesn't
too,
call
though.
the plays that suit his ability. He calls plays that he's familiar with from playing in higher divisions, and then what happens is when he has the better team on the field, the better athletes, well, they're open, so he makes the play, but then he can't make the throws in the tight
Yeah.
window, and then can't call the plays to make guys get open.
And they're really not out of the picture. Like they're like right now, if we look at the standings, they're like about middle ground. But in the conference A, it's such a mix and
Threat
match.
level midnight, so to speak.
Threat level and the thing is, like with TD Zabir, like if they go on a streak and then they pull up a win against because this coming week is their biggest competition. They're going to
Yes.
be playing tip top shape, and then they're
We'll
going
have
to
our pick on that game later in the show
Right,
as
then
well.
they're playing Jean Guy, then they're playing Spartans. So if they can pull off a 3-game win streak in Conference A, again, Jean Guy's in Conference B, but if they were able to put up 3 consecutive wins, it's going to be extremely impressive against
Absolutely.
3 top-tier teams. You know?
Emile Baudin on the other side of the ball for Ravens. He threw 2 touchdowns, ran for 2 more, and intercepted a pass. He's clearly the star in this team.
Right, yeah.
Do you think a team built around one key player can make it work in Division 6?
This season, no, just because of where they are. There's just no. I don't see any chance of them making the playoffs. But
Well,
the
if they go
yeah.
ahead, win 3 games, and sneak into the playoffs. let's
right?
say.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, I guess
Do
you're
you
right.
think that will work in the playoffs moving forward?
It's tough to say because I've often said yes. I've often said that the team that has that one big player can, especially in a lower division, it can make a difference. But I don't know because I look at Ravens as a total as a team, and it's tough because they've had a lot of really tough losses. They had one game they should have won if it wasn't for a cap situation. You know, I mean there was that game where they forfeited because they had Jesse Dupree playing for them.
Just to be amongst other players.
So yeah, amongst other players. So it's been a culmination of problems with that team. Cap space issues. They lose games where they have the lead. It's just a lot of bad luck in the season. But it's like you said, they put up 3 wins. Like I would not be surprised them coming in on a hot streak, and it could be good to have a guy like Baudouin coming in and taking charge of the offense.
Well, let's not overreact because that's Chapman's job. It's time for overreactions with Chapman as he makes his way through his 39th and 40th nugget of the evening. Leave it alone.
Okay, I'll put the nugget down. Fine.
Put the nugget down. Give us your overreactions.
All right.
Don't touch anything because you're greasy.
I
You're
am
disgusting.
greasy. I'm very greasy. You're also disgusting
You
in your
have
kimono.
fingerprints on your shirt.
Yeah, it's bad. But he's also
Pretty
wearing a
bad.
baby blue shirt.
Don't touch it.
I gotta change my shirt. All right, fine. So the Nighthawks have been without Dick Tactics for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
They're 0-3.
Dick tactics?
Yeah.
Dick Tactics, yes.
Okay.
They're not winning another game this season without him.
Oh,
They
really?
will not win another game without
no,
him.
no more wins.
Any speculation as to where he may be?
Strip clubs.
Turkmenistan.
Okay.
He's in a strip club in Turkmenistan.
Gronky Kong
Yeah,
apparently
man.
had one player who essentially did almost all the work for his team on defense. Actually, he did do all the work on defense. He owns all of the defensive stats, 6 whole tackles.
Right.
And he had also a very good game on offense. He is living by the mantra of everything myself.
But
He has to do
that being-
everything himself.
That being said, right, it really depends on scorekeeping, right? Because everything.
Well, 'cause
you never
here-
know.
here- I was gonna say, is it basically he was playing with 5 other pylons? Was he actually the only player on defense?
Right, could be.
Or was the stat keeper intoxicated?
Yes.
He was the only player on defense.
That's pretty much
Clearly.
what it has to be, right? It has
Yeah,
to
there's
be
no
that.
other options.
Has to be that. And final
And la-
reaction.
And lastly, don't bring your 1-month-old to the Canadians hockey practice.
Yeah, that's
it's
crazy.
just it's just bad judgment.
Oh, this is relating to the PK Subban event.
Yeah, where he threw a puck
He
and
threw
it
it.
hit, he tossed it.
They tossed
Why
it.
do we always have to go in a situation where we blame someone? Like, let's blame the baby. Let's blame
Let's
the mother.
blame
Let's
the-
PK Subban.
No, I
Who
think-
are we blaming?
it's
the
just-
parents.
The parents. It's the parents'
It's
fault.
an unfortunate circumstance. Why do
Dude,
we always gotta blame?
Dude,
people?
why would you bring your kid there?
love-
They're not going to remember anyway.
You love blaming things. If there was no, if it wasn't a baby, if it hit a dog, you'd blame someone else.
I would. I'd probably blame someone else.
I'm fed up. People always
The
have to
dog
blame
owner.
that.
So it's the parents' fault.
I blame
because
the puck. I blame the puck.
Because they're irresponsible and stupid.
And you know what? The worst part is that 1-year-old child won't remember the game, not
just said that.
because he was one,
Because you got a concussion.
because Will Smith told us concussions are bad.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, much like Will Smith did in Independence Day, we will welcome you back to Earth.
Arf.
bringing a baby to a game. You know what? I rarely agree with your reactions. That one, I
You would
can't.
never bring a kid
Yes.
to a game?
Not a baby, not one.
Just put a helmet on it.
1 month old, not even 1 year old. 1 month.
1 month.
1 month.
1 month.
But where did puck hit? Did it hit in his shoulder?
In
or-
his head.
Oh wow, that's bad.
Hence
That's
the
bad news.
concussion.
I thought it was like in a chest or something. in the
We are
head.
back,
Yeah.
of course, and you are listening to Super Flag Bros. I am Pease Delariz. I'm joined by my Super Flag Bro himself, Deez Delariz.
Yes, sir.
And our producer who is making his way through Nuggets as I wear a kimono because we both lost Table of Terror.
Can I have
Of
my
course,
last
if you-
box now?
You can have the last box.
mind, buddy. Read your mind.
Making your way through your 50 Nuggets. Why are you opening the box so quickly? Why are you still excited to eat these?
I'm actually still hungry, believe it or not.
I think 50 was kind of. It wasn't enough, man. I think it should have been 100.
We'll up it for the next ones. I did research, by the way. There's a guy who died after eating 160 nuggets in a week. His liver
a
failed.
week?
Yeah, you should not be eating that many nuggets ever.
But it's not the first time he's done this, so.
Yeah, I know that's
Yeah.
also true. So we are of course talking about Chapman, our producer. And if you want to tweet the show live, you can tweet us at EagleFPF, as Eagle is our technical director for this show. Today, as every Thursday is your lucky day, because I brought an eagle.
Right.
Eagle, of course, being a Master Control. Just as Nick Cage brought an eagle in The Sorcerer's Apprentice, you are watching us, an eagle, courtesy of Sportiera Cage, official supplier of FPF jerseys,
Right.
and of course, official sponsor of the Flag Plus Football Podcast. Let's get into power rankings because that was a stretch.
Yeah, that was Sorcerer's Apprentice. I'd
Sorcerer's
never watched that
Apprentice.
movie before.
It was a long Wednesday night, let me tell you. I did not enjoy that as much as I did watching Face Off. This was a great idea until I started watching the Nick Cage catalog. After the first 3 or 4 movies, which were excellent, it just gets downhill.
Yep.
It's downhill.
So
But the power rankings.
We're talking about power rankings right now. This is going to change every week, but I saw that Brett Bodkin brought up his rankings in his latest article. So I figured, you know what, I bring in my own. I'd give you my rundown, and you can tell me whether you agree with me or not. You think I'm crazy or not?
Well, so I'm not going to actually rank my top 10. What I'll do is
just tell me
is
how
I
stupid
will
I am.
react. Like we'll go 10 to 1, and then I'll tell you.
Oh, you want to go
if-
backwards?
Let's go backwards.
Oh, I love it. I love going
Let's do it.
backwards.
Let's do it.
All right, number 10. I'm going to go with Team Laval on this one.
I don't know. I don't know if I can put Team Laval there.
They've had tough losses.
Well,
But
it's
they're still
also
at the
because
bottom.
they've lost the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Super
Super tough losses.
They lost the last 3 really because
Yeah.
they also won one due to forfeit as the Ravens fielded an illegal roster. So having lost 3 in a row, I don't know how they make it.
If they win this game next week, I'm going to bring them up to number 9. Number 9 is Gamecocks.
Gamecocks on name alone,
I just feel like they've had a weak schedule. Like they won this week against Gronky Kong. Like that's not much.
Yeah, but I mean, look, you're there to beat the teams on your schedule. They did lose the key games, for example, PB and Jelly in week 2.
Right.
That said, they've also beat the Nighthawks, who were not a blowover, so and they shut them out. So
But if the
and
Gamecocks
they beat
win
Chunky.
this week,
They beat Chunky
they
as
did,
well.
yeah. But that's why they're in the top 10. But if the Gamecocks win this week, they will be
I'm-
number 8.
No, I have them a little bit higher. I have them sort of mid-ranked, maybe like 6-ish.
6-ish?
Yeah, they're a
You're
bit higher
crazy.
on me.
Number 8.
Number 8,
Spartans.
Spartans. Okay, make
Yeah.
your case. I agree, but make your case.
I think they've been really impressive this season. I've talked a lot about how I was impressed with their defense. I've seen a lot of growth out of this team. And I honestly, I'm shocked with myself. I'm shocked with myself. And then we're gonna go to number 7.
Wait, I have a question though about
Yeah.
Spartans. Looking at them, they have a huge roster.
They do.
But then they have 3 players with 5 touchdowns, and Charles David Martel, Andrew Grant, Alex Bassett into the playoffs. Do you think that the roster is too large to get all these players on the field
To give them action
to make
on the
plays?
field, yeah. No, I've talked about this before about how usually Division 6 in the playoffs what really benefits teams is when you have that one key player. But that being said, there's nothing wrong with having multiple productive players on the field in the playoffs because you never know. You never know who's being covered. It's always good to have those options, right?
Absolutely.
Number 7.
Number 7. Who's your number 7?
Diablos.
Diablos.
Diablos really surprised me this season. I feel like they should be higher, but I switched my mind a couple of times, and I'm stuck on 7 right now.
I got them lower. I got them at 9.
Got 'em at 9?
It could, because of the expectation, because I thought they'd come in and absolutely own this division. And with the experience of François Martin and the arm of François Martin, few guys in this division throw a pretty spiral every
Right.
time out. To see the guy be able to throw 40 yards with accuracy and them not succeeding, that surprises
So
me.
you'd have him at what number?
Number 9. Number 9, but we're not number 9. What
No,
number
we
are we
were,
at?
no, we were at number 7. You should pay attention.
Number 7.
Number 6, because we're at number 6
Number
now.
6,
You're not
all
paying
right.
attention. I'm gonna go with actually.
I just
this,
can't count, man.
This bothers me the most here because between 4 and 6, this is the area that really gave me the most problems. I wanted Brick Squad to be higher, but you know what? I'm gonna stick them at number 6. I just can't wait to see them play this week and see what they can bring to the table. They've had a great defense. They've come in and they've really rocked some teams. But I'm gonna keep them at number 6 right now. I'm gonna keep them humble. If they win next week, I'll put them higher for sure.
They beat Victoria's Secret, CMS Laval, 4th and 20 the last 3 games.
Yeah.
So I think the records have been inflated. I actually have them at number 7.
Okay, so now we're at number 5.
Number
Number 5 for me is always the pick. I feel there's always a team that has a lot of experience, that's excelled. They just haven't put enough on the table. And this week, I see NWO as that team. I see NWO
Fair,
as a
agreed.
team that should be higher at this point with the amount of years that they've played in FPF. I feel like with NWO, I expected them with the amount of experience that they've had in this division to be a top tier team. But at this point, they're still having a great season. Nothing against them. I want to see more, but they're stuck at number 5.
Number 5. That's fair. I agree.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Now, this is crazy because the team that I'm about to say, to me, a couple of weeks ago, they were my number 2 team. But having lost a few games and having fall down in the standings, Jean-Guy has really proven to be more than just a defensive team. They haven't really got their
But that's
their
been their
offense together.
identity for since as long as they've
Right.
existed.
And you'd figure that a team like, listen, this is a team that's only allowed 82 points this far in the season. I expect them to be higher. Like they're averaging just a little bit more points than Tip Top Shape on defense, like points allowed on defense than Tip Top Shape. So I expect them to be higher. But at this point, with recent losses, they've dropped in the standings. I put them at number 4.
They have PB and Jelly, TDs and Beer coming up, 2 big
Right.
games, and then the unpredictable Nighthawks in Week 10, which is a game that could go either way.
Right. And I'd love to see. Well, I'd love to look at the standing next week and to see how these teams perform. Number 3 for me. This was a bit of a stretch, but I'm looking beyond the record. I'm looking just at pure potential. Looking at pure player personnel. And for me, Sabre FC is a team that should be number 3.
Agreed.
Their record doesn't say that. They almost lost this week. That scares me, but I look at a guy like Mickey Marini, I look at a guy like Max Marini. They have a very, very solid team, and I just see them like, to me, they're a number 3 ranked team.
I agree until we see them, of course, take on Spartans Week 8, and then Week 10 they have a big matchup against Tip Top
So
Shape.
that for me was a stretch, but the next 2 teams are not.
What number are we at?
We're at number 2 now.
Number 2.
Number
There you
2! There we go.
So these next 2 teams, I think everyone already guessed it. It's either a battle between PB&J or Tip Top Shape. It's all those nuggets that are
Did
getting
you
to my throat.
did you almost throw
I
it in
had
your
one
mouth?
nugget. I feel congested. Okay, I'm gonna go with number 2. I'm gonna go with PB&J. I know they're gonna hate me for saying this. They want that top.
Disagree.
They want me to be at that top spot, and they really do deserve it. But Tip Top Shape has just proven to be an unstoppable force in this division, and I just. It's hard right now. It's really, I had to flip flop. I was looking at at their wins, and both teams have a lot. PB&J and Tip Top Shape, both teams together, 14 wins, 0 losses, 7 game wins apiece. Does that make the math? 7 plus 7 is 14, right?
7
Yeah,
plus
that's
one.
right.
Okay,
That
great.
does make
Thanks.
the math.
Correct.
So that said,
So
I have
PB&J and
I have them
Tip
in
Top Shape
reverse.
won.
I have Tip Top Shape at number 2. And what's the next number after number 2?
Number 1.
Who's your number 1?
Tip Top Shape, man.
Tip Top Shape.
Absolutely,
I have PB
absolutely.
Jelly number 1. Mo Khan this week called Joseph Cano the young Cam Newton.
It's hard for me to put a team like Tip
They
Top
might
Shape.
be the same age, by the way.
It's hard for me to put a team like Tip Top Shape below number 1 when they basically allow about a touchdown and a half a game.
I say PB and Jelly for one reason. In FPF, offense wins championships. You need to put up points in the playoffs. If you don't score 35 points,
Yeah, but
if you
Tip Top
don't
Shape puts up points.
But yes,
But they
but
put up
PB and
points.
Jelly is
PB&J puts up more.
He puts up more. They are the
Not
best
that
offense.
much more. Just
Regardless,
more.
watch them play. They are the most efficient
Okay.
offense in FPF.
We will revisit these rankings and we'll look at them again throughout the next podcast. So we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely, this is very Nicholas.
Do they have a game where they
You
play?
I had such a good segue.
Not yet.
Such a good segue.
Take a break on your Nick Cage. Is Tip Top Shape and PB and Jelly playing playing each other at all next 3 games?
Yes, week 9.
Week 9, okay.
The big one.
I can't wait for that game. Nick Cage.
Why is week 9 the big one?
Because they're playing each other.
Playing against each
Fair.
other.
All right, cool. That's what makes it the big one.
It is, it's a big one.
So I was actually going to say that was very Nicholas Pickles of you, listing a top 10, which like Video Arcade
This
top
is why you
10.
interrupted him. This is exactly why you interrupted him.
See, I'm glad you're laughing at me, but we're about to all laugh at you as we get into Science Hour with Duke. It's everyone's favorite game. Every week we give Deez Delarice Duke a scientific concept whereby he needs to define it, and that will become the new definition from the word. We will not give you the official definition because the official definition is whatever D says in the end. So, without further ado, Chapman.
Bayes' theorem.
Okay. Did you say Jay's theorem?
Bay. B-A-Y-E.
Bayes' theorem. Bayes' theorem.
Bayes' theorem.
Yes.
Bayes' theorem. What's a theorem? What and what? Okay, here's the thing I don't
You
understand.
need to tell us what it is.
What is the purpose of saying the word theorem when there's already a word theory that already exists?
Explain it to
I
us.
don't understand.
Excellent.
What's a theorem?
You should tell us because you're defining it. What's Bayes' theorem?
Bayes' theorem. It's like it's something to do with Beyonce, man. I don't know. Like I love that girl. Maybe it's because when I look at her, I got all kinds of theorems in my mind. Like, I don't know.
So, Bayes' theorem is officially when you look at Beyonce
You got all
and
kinds
you
of
have a
theorems
bunch
in
of
mind.
theorems in your mind.
In your
I'm surprised you did not go Michael Bay on that one.
Theorems right in my.
Yeah, right in your bear. I'm surprised you did not go Michael Bay on that one. I thought that was the way you're going.
What is a theorem?
It's too late for that. However,
defined it.
let's quickly make our picks for the week. Chapman, cue up the games, please.
One moment, please.
Oh yes, thank
It's
you.
the same
You have
structure
one job.
every week.
One
You have
job.
one job.
CMS Laval versus 420 Blaze It.
420 blaze it.
420 blazing.
Blaze it.
TDs and Beer versus Tip Top Shape.
Tip top shape, just blaze it.
Tip-top shape. They will not be able to stop Dave the Android.
Trojans versus Team Laval.
I'm going Team Laval on this.
Because
I just think that they've had such a tough schedule. This has to be their game where they pick it up, man.
I just think they've crumbled under pressure. Trojans are a tough team. They're not an easy
Trojans
out.
up and coming, and the other team's trying to shut down.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
Buffalo Sabres versus the Spartans.
Oh, this one's a good one and a tough
Yeah.
one. I'm gonna go with Sabres.
I'm going to go with Spartans. They're just a very intense team, and a lot of times if you're not used to seeing that, it may intimidate you.
Right? Intimidation. Nice.
Smoking Axolots versus That's So Ravens.
That's so Ravens.
Will every team have a nickname by the end of the season?
I'm trying.
I kind of feel like the Ravens are gonna win a couple of games at the end of the season. Like it doesn't make the record doesn't make sense. The record just doesn't make sense. Okay, aside from the fact that they got disqualified a couple of games, I think it was one game or was
One
it two?
game.
Or two?
One.
Aside from that, the record doesn't make sense. I feel like this is their time.
I'm gonna go. As much as I want to go with Smoking Assholes on this one, I'm gonna go with Ravens. They're a team, honestly, I expected more out of. They're a bunch of good athletes. They're gonna figure it out one of these weeks. It might as well be this week.
Diablos versus Goon Squad.
Goon Squad. Goon Squad.
Diablos.
Goon Squad.
Too much FF experience against not enough.
Goon Squad.
Victoria's Secret versus Gamecocks.
These?
I'm gonna go Gamecocks in this one, my friend. I don't think Victoria's Secret's all that good a team, and I think that the Gamecocks are equally as mediocre. But that
Largely
being said-
mediocre and equally as mediocre.
No, I know. I'm gonna have to switch on this one. Gamecocks. I've said it before. They have a very good defense. They've held opponents pretty low on the defensive end. They've allowed under 100 points so far this season. It's hard for me to see Victoria's Secret coming out victorious against a team like Gamecocks. So I'm switching my pick on that one because I was winging it 5 seconds ago, and now I'm not.
In the game between the two most erotically named teams, I'm going to go with Gamecocks
There's nothing erotic about Gamecocks. It's basically a rooster.
or a male body part that's just on its game.
Brick Squad versus Nighthawks.
I'm going to say Gamecocks because Kyle Tanzer has been indefensible this season. He has 11 touchdowns.
I'm gonna agree it's peace, and I'm gonna say the word undefensible instead of indefensible.
Brick Squad versus Nighthawks.
Go ahead, Deez.
Brick Squad. Brick Squad.
Because?
Just a better team in general. I gotta go with that.
Yeah, Nighthawks have been too unpredictable.
Yeah, too unpredictable is maybe the main issue. Brick Squad, we've seen the same production every week, so I can't see them losing this one.
Fair.
NWO versus Gronky Kong.
I think we all have a same consensus on this one, and I think we're all gonna agree that NWO is gonna pull this one off.
NWO, I think as well.
I mean, when your defense only has one guy doing anything for Gronky Kong,
Everything myself.
not to mention they haven't had a stable roster. You can't win games if you don't have a stable roster. It's impossible to have
And
any
NWO
stability.
has 3 guys with at least 5 touchdowns, and Samuel Lamoth, Pietro Mignacca, and Dominic Benevento. So they have a lot of production around the field, so therefore one guy can't guard 3. Math says NWO wins.
Nice math. PB&J versus Zhangyi.
PB&G.
J, not G.
PB and Gelly. I say PB and Gelly wins because offense beats defense because defense is stupid.
I also feel that this is going to be the toughest offense that Zhangyi is going to face this season. And as much as their defense has been great, the problem is that they don't have enough output on offense. And when you don't have enough output on offense, you're playing against a good team like PB&J. I just don't think the defense can really take you to the next step.
So there's a whole lot of talk about output there. Chapman, as having lost a side bet in Table of Terror, needs to take one of us on a date. I promise you, none of us will be outputting. But Chapman, who's it going to be? Who are you taking on a date?
It's going to be Duke.
Thanks, man.
I'm too expensive a date, aren't I?
I booked it.
Yes.
I booked it. I've been wanting to go to the
Duke
movies.
wanted to take me on a date, to be really
I
honest.
wanted to go to the movies, and my woman she doesn't want to go. So I said, you know what? If you ain't gonna take me, then I'm gonna go with a man.
Yeah.
And
So,
it's gonna
so
be Chaps.
the closest thing to a man, of course,
But
is
here's the
Chapman.
thing. Here's the thing. You are paying for everything, and I'm buying all the nuggets. And
That's very confusing.
wait, no, you're buying all the nuggets.
He's buying all the
no, I
nuggets.
got
You heard it here
screwed up.
first.
I totally
I
screwed
think you
up.
might buy yourself
You're buying
flowers
all the
too.
nuggets. It's not me.
Amazing. We're going
So-
to McDonald's for date night.
So I think it'll be dinner, movie,
Nuggets.
Tuesday night.
So follow along.
And
on
Phil Collins in the car.
That sounds like a date to me.
You picking me up?
Follow along on Snapchat. We're gonna probably post it on Facebook as well. Should be a good time had by all. Final thoughts, D's.
Final thoughts is there's nothing like waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning and tripping on the ice 5 times in a row and almost breaking every bone in your body. And even after you try as hard as you can, here's the thing. What can you do, man? What can you do?
Even if you try, what can you do?
You can't do anything.
Chapman, final thoughts.
I got none. He's buying me nuggets. I'm happy.
you're buying- I
you
just-
want more nuggets?
I don't understand how
Yeah,
that
I'm
miscommunication
pretty
happened.
good.
All right.
What do I have for dinner tonight? Tell me.
I don't know. My Thursday lesson plan is I want you guys to all pay attention to the podcast in the coming weeks because we're gonna actually start to break down the playoff matchups. We're gonna update you each week with the standings and heading into the last 3 weeks of action. So it's gonna be an exciting time. I urge you all to join if you haven't watched this already.
But if they're not listening, they'll never know what you're
They'll never know. So I'm just trying to keep our captive audience captive longer, kind of like Stockholm Syndrome.
If you like how stupid this is, imagine how much stupider it's going to get.
Stupider, not more stupid.
Stupider.
All right. Well, thanks, Deez. Thanks, Chapman, for
You're
everything.
welcome. You're so
Eeks,
welcome.
thanks for all the work you've done. Division 6, remember, goodbye.
I don't know. I have no idea. What do you do? Everything causes cancer. You can't microwave things. Everybody's goddamn vegan these days. What am I supposed to eat? I eat beef. Beef is a problem. I eat chicken. There's a problem. I eat turkey. There's a problem. I can't eat anything these days. Everything is gonna kill me.